Polish Prime Minister Morawiecki wants Putin out of power. Mateusz Morawiecki, the Polish Prime Minister, has stated that he wants to see Russian President Vladimir Putin removed from. Morawiecki stated that they will no longer be safe if Europe and the free world lose this battle, this war, because they will always be threatened and blackmailed by Putin. He further said that they would want to see him removed from power totally, but Putin is a brutal force, and Russia is a superpower, and if Ukraine survives as a sovereign state, which is Europe's ultimate goal, that will be their win. Josep Borrell stresses EU nations need to increase coordination in defense capabilities. The High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell stressed that the EU needs to remove the shortcomings in their security and have closer coordination in the defense matters following the Russian offensive in Ukraine. He made the remarks at the special session of the European Council in Brussels on May 31. Borrell said that the members of the European Union need to increase funds for defense capabilities in a coordinated way. Ukrinform reported Russian FM Lavrov to visit Turkey to discuss supply of Ukrainian wheat. The visit of Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to Turkey is scheduled for June 8, according to Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Yavuzoglu, who also said that the formation of a security corridor for the supply of Ukrainian wheat over the Black Sea will be discussed during the meeting with Lavrov. Ankara had been in talks with Kyiv and Moscow to build a corridor for grain shipments from Ukraine through Turkey, according to media reports. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan expressed his willingness to host a meeting between Ukraine, Russia, and the United Nations in Istanbul during a phone discussion with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Zelensky apprises Turkey president of his intention to meet Putin. In the latest development amid the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu claimed that the Ukrainian president has expressed his desire to meet his Russian counterpart. Çavuşoğlu stated that Volodymyr Zelensky informed this to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan when both leaders held a telephonic conversation on Monday. Just yesterday, May 30, during the talks, Zelensky expressed his desire to meet with Putin. Turkey continues its aspirations, Çavuşoğlu told reporters, RIA Novosti news agency reported. The talks between Zelensky and Erdogan came just hours after the latter spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin, during which he reaffirmed Ankara's commitment to continue contributing for peace in war-torn Ukraine. During the talks, Erdogan told Zelensky that Turkey is doing everything possible to keep the discussions between Ukraine and Russia going. Verkhovna Rada's Deputy Speaker thanks European Parliament President for supporting Ukraine's EU status. Olena Kondratyuk, the Deputy Speaker of the Verkhovna Rada, expressed her gratitude to the President of the European Parliament Roberta Metsola for supporting Ukraine's status as a candidate for membership in the European Parliament may accept the decision on Ukraine's position as a candidate for membership in the European Union since it is in the best interests of Europe. A positive and consistent decision has been reached on how to provide Ukraine with the status of a candidate for EU membership as early as 2022. Russia wants to take control of Luhansk by June 1, Donetsk by July 1. Russia's top military officers have been given orders to conquer the whole Luhansk region by June 1 and the deadline for Donetsk is July 1, according to media reports. The Russians are currently trying everything they can to take control of Severodonetsk, which they already have a large portion of. Currently, there are street brawls. The Russian occupiers are continuing their onslaught in the areas of Severodonetsk, Bakhmut, Toshkivka, and a number of other communities in eastern Ukraine, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces. The adversary is attacking the armed forces and civilian targets with artillery and airstrikes, and in certain areas is seeking to undertake reconnaissance to better its own positions. Bulgarian Prime Minister Petkov says his country would be exempted from the EU's oil embargo. Bulgaria's Prime Minister, Kirill Petkov, declared that his country would be exempted from the EU's oil embargo against Russia until the end of 2020. He stated that in the conclusion, which will be released in 2 to 3 days. The exemption for the country will be outlined in full. Simultaneously, he also highlighted that the EU's decision to impose a 90% ban on Russian oil is a huge step forward. Russians are transporting orphans from Mariupol in unknown directions. The Russians are removing children from captured Mariupol and transporting them in an unknown direction. According to Mariupol mayor's advisor Petro Andriushchenko, the Russians are attempting to identify and gather children who became orphans or lost their parents during the occupation. Andriushchenko stated that it is known, in particular, that roughly 15 children who were being housed by Mariupol locals on Myotida Avenue were taken away by 18 Russian militaries and brought away to an unidentified place. He further said that Ukraine is actively striving to determine the destination and care of Ukrainian orphans and missing children. Ukraine claims 32 journalists slain since onset of Russian invasion on February 24. In the latest development pertaining to the ongoing war in Eastern Europe, Ukraine's Institute of Mass Information revealed that nearly 32 journalists have lost their lives while reporting on the conflict since the onset of the invasion on February 24. The tally further increased following the tragic death of a 32-year-old French journalist, who died on Monday in Russian shelling. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky grieved the death of the French journalist, Frédéric Leclerc-Kimhoff. As per French and Ukrainian officials, Leclerc-Kimhoff was killed in the Luhansk region after the armored bus he was traveling in was hit by shrapnel from a shell. Governor of Donetsk Oblast says majority of villages in the Bakhmut district are unaffected. Governor of Donetsk Oblast, Pavlo Kirilenko stated that the majority of villages in the Bakhmut district, including Bakhmut, are not in the affected area and are therefore not in danger. The village of Cherniv, which is located in the zone of ongoing hostilities, is the only site where information concerning the ammonia smell comes from as of the morning of May 31. He further said that 35 individuals reside here. Kirilenko claimed that state emergency service rescuers are on the scene 24 hours a day, and in the event that the situation worsens, 9 tank trucks and 45 professionals are ready to respond at any time to mitigate the accident's consequences. U.S. warns Russia-Ukraine war can escalate. There's always a possibility of escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war, said the United States Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, who also stressed that it is essential to maintain constant contact with Kyiv to ensure act. In an interview with Fox News, the Pentagon official said the U.S. has to closely manage the chances of escalation of ongoing conflict and assess the situation. Milley said, "I think there's always a possibility of escalation. We have to closely manage chances and assess the chances of escalation. So we do that." The U.S. general also stressed that U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is in constant contact with the Ukrainian defense minister. According to Milley, this shows to manage the escalation and prevent it from expanding into something much more horrific than it already is. Additionally, the U.S. official noted the operational battles between Moscow and Kyiv in eastern Ukraine and stated that the next few days are expected to shape the outcomes of what would happen. Josep Borrell suggests Russia's Patriarch Kirill should be blacklisted by EU. After the European Union revealed the sixth round of sanctions against the Russian Federation, the High Representative of the EU, Josep Borrell, believes that Patriarch Kirill of Moscow should be included in a list of new individual EU sanctions to be enacted as part of this. Russian troops capture half of Severodonetsk in East Ukraine. Head of the military administration in Severodonetsk, Oleksandr Struk, on Tuesday informed that Russian troops have captured half of Severodonetsk as Ukrainian defenders stage a heavy resistance.